Hello, everybody, and welcome to the online Convenor Q&A webinar. My name is Jesse Pattison, and I am a summer assistant with the World Water Week team. So the format for today's session is a short presentation followed by a Q&A. During the session, you can type your questions into the chat, and myself or one of the team members of the World Water Week team will answer your question. If we do not get to your question, please email us at worldwaterweek@seaweed.org and we will answer your question there. So for today's agenda, I will do a brief do's and don'ts in preparing a successful session at World Water Week. And next, I will talk about some specific topics that we have gotten a lot of questions about. Speaker registration, some technical information and assistance, some information about the assistance that you will receive during World Water Week for your online session, and also a Zoom meeting versus a Zoom webinar and some of the differences. And then at the end, we will open up for questions from the chat. So some things that are really important for you guys to do, please please register yourselves and your other speakers and edit your session details on the digital platform via the edit link that you received. I've been keeping an eye on some of the online sessions, and it seems about half of the session cards have been updated. So it's really important that you update your session cards on the digital platform. Second, please connect your session to this year's World Water Week theme, which is innovation. Please think about your session as the start of an impact journey. This is really important. Please make sure that your session fulfills the gold standard. So that is having at least 40% of your speakers be female and one speaker who's a youth speaker. So that means under the age of 35. And then the third part of the gold standard is making sure that your session incorporates audience engagement. So we make several recommendations on the Convenor Success Program about how to do this. We recommend using tools like Mentimeter or Poll Everywhere. Those are really good tools that you can use to incorporate audience engagement through polls, quizzes, all those things. And also, it's really important that you leave time at the end of your session for questions, for the audience to ask questions. Next, please feel free to promote your session wildly in your network with World Water Week's social media promo kit. This can be found on the Convenor Success Program. And then please review the checklists and other Convenor training webinars available on the Convenor Success Program. The Convenor Success Program is a really good tool and it has lots of good information for you to use. We have checklists, specific checklists for online sessions. We also have Zoom guides that you can look at. So please, there's lots of really good information there. And then please email worldwaterweek@seaweed.org if you have any questions that we don't get to today or that come up before your session. Please don't wait until the last minute to register your speakers and update your session details. This is really important. Please rehearse and practice your session. It's really important that you practice using a free Zoom account and that you're very comfortable presenting on Zoom. A good tip that we have for presenting via Zoom is to have an online moderator. So someone who knows your content very well, but also understands how to use Zoom and all the functions that you can use with Zoom. And you can also create opportunities for audience interaction. So I mentioned earlier things like Mentimeter for polling, quizzes, but you can also incorporate tools within Zoom like breakout rooms. And these all help your session tell a story and keep the audience engaged. So on to some topics that we've gotten lots of questions about, specifically speaker registration. So all participants at World Water Week must be registered to attend the conference. So this also includes online participants. So please make sure that your speakers and hosts are registered. Please make sure they have been registered by Monday, August 14th. That way we can connect them to your session card and they'll appear on the digital platform with time. Yeah. Also, online participants, so this includes speakers and hosts, can register for free on our website. They must mark themselves as a host or speaker, and they also have to put in the session ID number, and then they will receive a Zoom link, which allows them to enter the green room 20 minutes prior to the session, where they will receive some technical support. Please note that the free registration is separate from the convener session fee. And then just some recommendations from us at World Water Week. So we really recommend an online moderator who handles the technical aspects of the session. So things like sharing your screen or reading the chat to the speakers. So that way your speakers can be solely focused on presenting and they don't have to be juggling multiple things at once. We also recommend the use of visual aids, so slides, videos, surveys, and polls. And I know I said it earlier, but it's really important that you rehearse using Zoom and practice and get very comfortable using Zoom. So we also have gotten a lot of questions about some of the assistance and technical, some questions about the technical assistance you guys will be receiving during your session. So all speakers and session hosts will receive a Zoom link at least 24 hours prior to the beginning of their session. All online sessions will have green room assistance with our digital platform provider Trippus, one of their AV technicians, and a World Water Week digital assistant. And this will be accessible to them 20 minutes prior to the start of their session. It's really important that all of your speakers are on time to the green room. This is because both the Trippus AV technician and the World Water Week digital assistant, they have checklists that they have to run through with you. So please, it's really important that you're on time to the green room. We've also had several people ask about the recordings of the sessions. So the session recordings will be made available on the World Water Week digital platform and also the World Water Week YouTube channel. And then after World Water Week, you'll be able to request the video file from us. So please just send an email to worldwaterweek@cw.org and we will be able to get that sorted out for you. So another thing that has been causing some confusion is a Zoom webinar versus Zoom meetings. So the 60-minute online sessions will be done in a Zoom meeting. So this means the chat will be the same Zoom chat that you're using right now, and that interpretation will be integrated onto Zoom. That is, if your session organizer has requested interpretation. And then the 30-minute showcase will be running on a Zoom webinar. So that means that there'll be a chat box integrated onto the digital platform where the chat will be, and also Interprify will be incorporated onto the digital platform. Interpretation, if you want to book interpretation, I believe it's until the end of this week you have to book it, and then after that you will not be able to book it. So if you do need it, please do it quickly. And then for more information about interpretation, please watch the webinar from June 21st titled How to Run Your Session on the Digital Platform. So here, this slide shows the difference between interpretation on a Zoom webinar and Zoom meeting. So on the left is a screenshot from the digital platform of a Zoom webinar. And as you can see off to the right, the interpretation options are in a little pop-out box, separate from the video. Whereas in the Zoom meeting, the interpretation is in the Zoom toolbar, and all the participant has to do is press the interpretation button and they can select the language that they wish to hear the session in, provided that the session organizer has booked interpretation. All right, I guess we can take some questions from the chat now. Right. So we have, I see a question from Jay Who. How many people have registered to be in the audience for your session? So we cannot, we do not have that information. We do not ask participants to register for sessions. So we cannot see how many have participants have registered for a specific session. And so some colleagues mistakenly registered themselves as speakers, although they won't speak in our session, and their names automatically show at the top of the session website. And somehow some of them misunderstood they would speak. Is there any way to solve this and the status of the participants? So yes, if you have on your session card, speakers or hosts that are not, they're listed on your session card, but they're not actually speaking or hosting your session, please email us at worldwaterweek@cv.org, and we can pass that on to our digital platform provider, Trippus, and they can get that fixed for you. So when will the recordings be available after the session? So they will be on the digital platform. They will be available on demand shortly after the ending of your session, and then on YouTube, as soon as our team is able to upload them, they'll be on YouTube. Here we have a question about breakout rooms. How can you do them on Zoom so that the participants themselves choose which room to join? Okay, so this is a really good question. On our Convenor Success program, you can find a complete Zoom guide. And in that Zoom guide, you can find a section on breakout rooms, and there will be a step-by-step checklist for creating breakout rooms, and specifically for breakout rooms where participants can choose which rooms to join. One of our speakers doesn't speak English. Is it too late to request interpretation for one short part of the session? No, it's not. As I mentioned earlier, you have until the end of the week to request interpretation. So here's a question about information on uploading photographs of speakers and hosts on the session, on the digital platform for the session. So in your confirmation email, you would have gotten in the confirmation email, there's at the bottom, it says click here to edit your registration, and you press that button, and from there you can add an image to your registration, and that will appear on the digital platform. What is the session ID? Is it identical to the proposal ID? Yes, it is. It's the exact same number. We have a similar question to one of the ones we answered before. How to see how many people have registered to be in the audience of our session. So unfortunately, we cannot provide that. That is information that we can't have, and we also can't provide it for two reasons. The first reason that we can't provide a participant list is because of European GDPR privacy laws. We can't share participant lists. But second, we do not ask our participants to pre-register for online sessions. Also, for fully online sessions, are there any options for in-person participants to connect to them? A room where people can connect? I assume you mean speakers or hosts. We recommend that this isn't done at the venue, because at the venue, it can be really loud in the lounge areas. So we would recommend that you do it from your hotel room. That's probably the best place that's quiet and with a good internet connection to join. But if you meant participants connecting to your online session, yeah, they can connect anywhere that they have internet. So how do non-speakers get the link to access the online session? So participants, this is a really good question. Participants access the online sessions via the digital platform. So this is really important that all participants have to register for World Water Week. Online participation is free this year, but they still have to register. And when they register, they will be sent a personal link from Trippus in an email from Trippus. And using that link, they can access all the online sessions. Do we need to register the online moderator as a speaker? No, they do not need, online moderators do not need to be registered as speakers. Do the sessions automatically end after the 60 or 30-minute timing, or can we end them as hosts? So Trippus they are digital platform provider. They control the Zoom, and they are the ones who send out the Zoom links. If your session runs short and you want to end it, you can ask them, and I'm sure that they can end it. But we suggest using the full time for your session. Another question. Is there any free space with Wi-Fi to use at the venue if someone wants to join an online session in between several on-site ones? Yes, so Waterfront is our venue this year for World Water Week, and there is Wi-Fi there. And so participants will be able to use that Wi-Fi to join online as a participant for sure. Is there any other? So Zoom webinar format only for showcase. Can we request it for other sessions? Oh, 2 questions. Yeah, so the Zoom webinar is only for online showcases, and for the Zoom meetings, it is a Zoom meeting. Or sorry, for the online sessions, it is a Zoom meeting. And I don't think you can request a Zoom webinar for a 60-minute online session. And then your second question, the Zoom sessions will be embedded on the land page or the sessions running on the Zoom platform. So I think I'm not exactly 100% if I understand this question, but I would recommend emailing us at worldwaterweek@cw.org, and we can get you the most clear answer there, I think. Will we be able to set up a Q&A box in Zoom on the day, or will we be limited to the chat? So for a Zoom, I think it's best that you just use the chat. But again, I will recommend that you email us at worldwaterweek@cw.org, and then we can confirm with Trippus if you can set up a Q&A box or not. Oh, this is a really good question. Is there a way to manually add speakers to the session? So unfortunately, there isn't. So what you need to do is make sure that your speakers have registered, and that they have marked themselves as a speaker on their registration, and that they have put in their session ID, the correct session ID number. And then because speakers cannot be manually added, please send us an email at worldwaterweek@cw.org, and we can forward it to Trippus. And in the following days, because it has to be done manually by them, it will be done. If we have another question, if the session uses Zoom meeting mode, is there a limit on the number of people that can join the session online? no, there's no limit. As many people can join. So we really recommend that you guys, when you promote your sessions, please promote your session and spread the word that online registration is free. And yeah, there's no limit. So we wanted to reach as many people as possible. I think I might have missed a question right at the top. Do we need to fill out a run sheet for an online session? No, those are only for on-site. So there's no need for you to fill out a run sheet for an online session. And another question is, how do non-speakers get the link to access the online session? Non-speakers or participants who want to view the online session, they need to register for World Water Week. And as I mentioned, online registration is free this year. And then the TRIPPIS will send them a personal link, and they can use that link to access all of the online sessions. This is an interesting question. In case we cannot meet the gold standard criteria, should we change anything on the platform? No, I think not. Maybe I would just recommend sending an email to us at worldwaterweek@cv.org and just let us know. And I think it's good to communicate that with us. Another question is, can we get copies of the deck you used today and the chat answers? So this session is being recorded. It will be put on our YouTube channel and also on the Convenor Success Program, where you can access it. If you have any other further questions that you feel weren't answered, I would again recommend emailing us at worldwaterweek@cv.org, and we can get to your answers for you. Can we still change the date and time for an approved session? No, unfortunately, you cannot. Our program has been finalized, so no. And another question is, how long will the green room open before the session begins? So the green room will open 20 minutes before the start of your session. So it's really important that you're there on time, 20 minutes before, because both the TRIPPIS AV technician and also our World Water Week digital assistant, they will have checklists they need to run through with you, making sure that your camera is working, that your online moderator is sharing their screen, and the mics work. So it's really important that you're there 20 minutes before to use the whole time. Is there any other questions coming in the chat?
Let's see. Jesse, we do have one question. Can we receive assistance prior to the session start? So that would be technical assistance on running on Zoom.
Okay. I would recommend sending an email to us at World Water Week@cv.org, and seeing if we can work something out. I think that's probably the best solution to that.
Great. And we have 5 minutes left, but I think you have answered majority of questions. There are some very specific questions in the chat, so if you don't mind just emailing us at worldwaterweek@cv.org, that would be great. Can you please share where I can see whether my speakers have registered?
Okay, yeah, this is a very good question. So the first thing that I would recommend is on the digital platform where World Water Week is being hosted, You can access our program, and there there's a little search bar. You can search for either your session ID number or the title of your session, and your session will appear. And you can, when you press on it, your little session ID card will pop up, and there at the very top, you'll be able to see the session hosts and session speakers. And if your session hosts and speakers are not listed there, please send us an email at Well, first send an email to your speakers and hosts who have not registered and ask them to register. And then second, send us an email letting us know. And I see another question in the chat. Can we highlight speakers in a Zoom meeting when he or she is talking? So you can pin a speaker on Zoom, but also Zoom has a function that whoever is speaking, it automatically shows them, but you can also use the pin function. Another question is, will we have the ability to copy a direct link to the session on the day of the event to share on social media? So yeah, you can grab the URL now. It's so to get the URL, go to the digital platform and search your session, like I just described a moment ago. And when you find your session, press it and the session ID card will appear. When the session ID card appears, you can grab the URL from then, and then that's the URL that you can use. Just be aware that it's a little bit slow. So when you first put it in the search bar, it takes a few seconds for the session card to appear. And the second thing that I wanted to mention, that when you are sharing your sessions on social media, please also include that participants have to register they can register for free using the online full access pass, and it's free, but they have to register to be given access to view the sessions. Is there any other?
There's one more, and then I think we'll have to close for the day. If I am hosting 2 sessions, how do I handle this in terms of registering to ensure that I have access to both sessions as a session host?
Okay, so on your registration, you will have you should have selected I am a session host, and then it'll ask you how many sessions you are hosting. And I assume, or for you hosting 2, you would put in 2 session ID numbers, and that's how you register. But I think they were asking more about ensure that they have access to the sessions. So to make sure that you have access, you go to your confirmation email that you received when you confirmed or registered for World Water Week. I'm sorry. And then at the bottom of that confirmation email, it says, click here to edit your registration. And so you press that, and then scroll down to where it asks you if you're a session host or speaker. Make sure that you select that you're a session host. Make sure that you indicate that you're hosting 2 sessions, and then put in the session IDs for both of your sessions. And then once that is done, you will receive the Zoom link to your, will give you access to the green room 20 minutes before the start of your session. And that will be sent 1 day or 24 hours prior to the beginning of your session. It's getting close to our time. I really want to thank you all for coming. Thank you for coming. I hope you found this webinar useful, and we really look forward to seeing you online during World Water Week. So yeah, bye now.